Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be reviewing the Porter & Cable 20 volt lithium ion combo kit. The part number for this combo kit is PCC600 This kit retails for $159 and is typically available at Lowe's or any other home improvement warehouse. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and open up the box and see what's in the kit. Alright, so within the box, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the Porter & Cable bag, two 1.5 amp hour batteries plus the rapid charger. You're going to get the 1/2 inch drill, and then you're going to get the 1/4 inch impact driver, and you're also going to get two belt clips with a couple bits that go along with them. So for those of you who subscribe to my channel, there's already another review on the impact. You can go ahead and take a look at that. I'm not going to talk too much about the impact other than the general specs. There's another in-depth review on the impact on my channel. I'll put a link on to the review so you can take a peek at it. Alright, so with that being said, some are going to say, well, why did you get this combo kit if you already had the impact? And I'll tell you why. I don't understand Porter Cable's pricing, because this kit, you can get it for $159, and it includes everything that you see. All I really wanted was the drill, because I needed a 1/2 inch cordless drill. But if you look at the pricing for Porter & Cable, that drill alone with the charger and the two batteries, it's $149. That's right. So you can either spend $149 for the drill, or you can spend $10 more and get a impact with it. So what do you think I did? I spent an additional 10 bucks and I got another impact. Even though I already have that impact and it's a great impact, I figure out, you know what, for 10 bucks I'll grab it anyway, just to have as a spare for doing stuff around the house. All right. So what I'm gonna do is, if you guys don't believe me, I'm gonna post a picture of the current pricing up at Lowe's, and you can take a look at it for yourself. Alright, so why don't we talk about the specs of the tools themselves. The first one we're going to talk about is the impact. The part number on the impact is PCC600. It's a 20 volt lithium ion tool. It has 1495 inch-pounds of torque. The max RPM is 2900. The max blows is 3100. The weight is 3.2 pounds, and it's roughly 6 inches long. As previously stated, I have this impact. I've had it for about a year. The original one, I made another video on it. I regularly use it to remove the lug nuts on my car, because if you do the conversion from inch pounds back to foot pounds using the factor of 12, it roughly works out to 120 foot pounds of torque that this impact is delivering. So go ahead and take a look at the video on my channel, which goes into a lot more detail on that. So with that being said, we're just going to move this guy to the side. Alright, so for the drill, it's a 1/2 inch drill. The part number is PCC600. Again, another 20 volt tool. It has two speed settings on it. It's a low range and a high range gearbox. The low range is anywhere from 0 to 400 RPM, and the high speed is 1600 RPM. The capacity is, it's a 1/2 inch chuck. It weighs 3.5 pounds, and it has 267 inch-pounds of torque. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the tool and let's take a look at it real quick. All right. So again, it is a drill. It's not an impact. So there is your high-low gear setting for the gearbox. I believe it's a 20 position chuck. Let's take a look at it, maybe 22. It's a 22 position chuck, and then it has a straight drill setting, which will prevent the clutch from rationing. Going down to the bottom, it has a built-in fuel gauge. If you press it, what it's going to do, it's going to give you the indicator of the charge. So right now the batteries are brand new. I haven't charged them yet. It has a lot of overmold on it, so if you do drop it like this or like that, it's not going to mar your surface or that you're working on, so it's not going to ding anything up. It's a keyless chuck. It just ratchets when you pull the trigger. So it's kind of like a Jacob's chuck, but it actually ratchets and it supplies torque when it goes to tighten it. On top of the body of the drill itself, there's two magnetic spots for bits. Typically, I don't use those because I'll I'll put it in my work bag or whatever I'm doing, rather than rely on these two magnetic points to hold the bits. Because let's face the facts, if you're using this, because it's a 1/2 inch cordless drill, more than likely you're using larger bits, spade bits or 1/2 inch drills or something like that, that typically are not going to rest on this, just because of the length of the bit and everything else and the weight. This is more rated for short Phillips bits or square drive bits or something like that. Really not intended to hold drills or anything like that. So, initial impressions, it feels good. It has the same grip as the Impact. Initial thoughts are it is a little bit nose heavy on the front because of the truck, but that's to be expected. So why don't we go ahead and throw a bit in this and we'll test it out on its performance. Alright, so let's put this drill to the test. I mounted up a 5/8 DeWalt spade bit in the drill. It's in high speed in the drilling mode, and the battery is fully charged. And so what we're going to do is I have a 2x4 mounted in this vise, and let's go ahead and put some holes in it and see how we do. I just had to reposition there because I'm doing this with one hand and I'm holding the camera at the same time. Alright, so I do another hole. Alright, let's do another one. Alright, so that did pretty good on that 5/8. No real bogging down. Anything that you did here is because I was, again, holding it down with one hand, and I really wasn't at the best angle. Doing it with two hands would probably be a little bit better off. So for the next test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount up a hole saw. Alright, so for the next test, I mounted a 2-inch hole saw into the drill. It's the biggest hole saw that I have. I can tell you right now that we're not going to be making it all the way through the 2x4 because the 2x4 is thicker than the actual hole saw itself. So what's going to happen is the hole saw is going to get buried into it, and then it's going to stop because the hole saw is smaller than the 2x4. But with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do the test anyway, and we'll see how the drill does with a larger diameter saw mounted to it. So why don't we go walk over back to the 2x4. And we're going to get this thing started. And again, I'm doing this one-handed. Normally you would be doing it with two, but for now we're just going to try it with one-handed and we're going to see how we do. So while we go. And there you go. So essentially the blade buried itself, and the blade is actually smoking a little bit. So there you go. No real bogging on the drill. If there was any, it was just for me because of the positioning where I was doing with one-handed. I may have been binding it up a little bit, but the drill had more than enough torque to handle that 2-inch hole saw. So there you go. There's a kind of a brief overview of the specs on this particular drill. I think I'm going to like it. So far, it looks like it's going to be a solid buy. If you like what you saw, go ahead and give me a thumbs up for the drill. And again, if you like what I talked about, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if there's any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, go ahead and leave them in the comments box. And as always, have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.